Today, I'm going to talk about how to manage data by using SAS. So the first part is we are going to briefly review the lecture 1, and the part 2 we are going to talk about how to manage SAS files, and part 3 we are going to talk about how to manage the SAS output, and part 4 we are going to talk about how to manage variables in the SAS data. So here the aim of the lecture 2 is this. So we are going to learn how to define new SAS libraries to handle your SAS files, and then we are going to learn how to control the appearance SAS listing outputs. So we have the outputs and then the SAS, and then the we are going to look at how to control the appearance using HTML output, and also the most important thing is that we are going to learn how to create variables and accumulate variables without or with the initializing values, and also we are going to learn how to use if, then, and else statements in the SAS. So as you learned in the last lecture, we learned the proc means, which computes descriptive statistics. So here we have a proc step. So we have proc step and proc means equals to data, and so we have a number of observations, mean and standard deviation that we are going to compute. And then we have the program type here. So we are going to compute the variables, these three elements on these variables: read, write, math, science, and SOC/ST on by program type. And then proc univariate can provide more detailed descriptive statistics. So it provides the more details than the ones in the proc means. And so you can have histogram, QQ plus, and you can also perform goodness of fit test about the distributions. So in this steps, you have a proc univariate. So for data, and we compute the descriptive statistics for write variable, and we create histogram within a normal curve fit, and we can also create the QQ plus the based on the normal distribution. And then this is for continuous variables. Now for the categorical variables, we can use a proc freq to summarize the information. So it provides one-way to n-way frequency and contingency tables. And also I can provide the for one-way table whether it equality of the proportion, and also the independent test for two-way tables. Excuse me. So you can use the proc freq, and here we have a tables statement to create a table for gender, and for this chi-square option is to perform the chi-square test. And the two-way table for gender and program type. So we specify a table statement and gender and star with program type to create the two-way table for gender and the program type with chi-square options. And then proc format enables to define your own format for the variables. The created format can be used in most procedures. So you can see that the proc format. So we have value statement, and we have named the value gender FMT. So 0 is equal to, is the female, and 1 is equal to male. So you specify that you specify 0 is equal to female and 1 is equal to male. Then we print out using this format statement. So format gender and gender FMT and dot. So you can put the should need to put a dot on the format name. Then we can also have the permanent format for same variables in the data set. So you can have the specify format, and here, and then you can put this format statement in the data format the statement in the data step to specify the permanent format for the gender. Here we call the a CSV file, and we put the variable name by input statement, and we can use this format statement there, so that the we can specify name of the gender, and then you can specify the title on here. So you can, so it's the title statement. So you can put title and the quotation mark, double quotation mark, title name for your output. So we can put the title before the proc steps, or you can put the title inside the proc steps or the data steps. So this is how to make the title in your output. So now I'm going to talk about the SAS libraries. So SAS library is the collection of SAS files. So SAS files files are stored in the SAS data library. I mean, it locates Explorer windows if you use the SAS the desktop version. So SAS has the several libraries. SAS help is the permanent library that contains the sample data and other files that control how SAS works at your site. So there are some data set examples in SAS help, so you can call the data set. And then SAS user is a permanent library that contains SAS files. And then this is convenient place to store your own files. And so, but the, okay. Sorry, let me say again. So we have SAS user, which is a permanent library. And then we have a work library, which is the temporary library. So usually if you call the data, then the data file is the usually stored in this work library. But this is temporary library, so if you quit the SAS, then your SAS data set will be gone. And then how to make the permanent SAS file from the SAS library. To that, I mean, precisely to reference the permanent SAS files. So we have to name library libref, which is the library name, and the file name. So the libref is the SAS data library's name, having this the file. The file name is the name of the file itself. So for example, it can be HS grade. Then we need a period. In this case. So for example, if you have the clinic.admit, it means that there is a SAS data set admit, and it is stored the library name the clinic. So we have a library name which is clinic, and then the file name is the admit. So if you say clinic.admit, then here we use the data name admit2, and then here we specify the library name is clinic, and the set clinic.admit means that we call clinic.admit and then store it in the clinic.admit2, and then we print the data in the clinic.admit2. And then the temporary library work, we do not specify the library name. So if you say data hsgrade, then you just reference the data named hsgrade in the work library. And you can define your own SAS library in the libname statement. So you have the libname with the library reference is SAS data library. So libname statement. So you put the name of the new SAS library, and the SAS data library is the path of the SAS data library that SAS data files are stored. So for example, if you specify library name as mylib, and then so we have the path for the library name, and then you have create the data set, the mylib.hsgrade. So here when you specify the data in the data set, you need to put this the mylib in front of the data set name to specify your data set. And then if you view the contents in the SAS library, you can specify explore library and specify mylib. And then the contents procedure, the discrete output that describes either of the following: the contents of the library and descriptive information for individual SAS data set. So if you say mylib dot underscore o, so here mylib dot underscore o underscore means we called all the listings of all the files in the library. So which means that we called all the information about the files in the library, and then it requests. Let me back up. So mylib.o underscore call the listings of all files in the library, and an OBDS option talk to SAS, then do not print all the details information about each file. So here, if we run this contents procedure, then we can have the library reference library name, the physical name, and file name, and then access the permission, and the root, and then the names of data, member type, and then the last modified date. Okay, I will talk about the managing SAS output in the next video.